Good evening and welcome. This is the reading of 50 Shades of Grey, Chapter 3, halfway through. Reading for you this evening will be Simon Burrows and Jenny Burrows. Starting now. Hold on. Bringing up the screen.
Okay, let's do coffee.
I murmur, flushing a beet red. He grins. After you, Miss Steele. He stands up straight, holding his hand out for me to go first. I make my way down the corridor, my knees shaky, my stomach full of butterflies, and my heart in my mouth thumping, thump, 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 a dramatic, uneven beat. I am going to have coffee with Christian Grey, and I hate coffee. Yuck. We walk together down the wide hotel corridor to the elevators. What should I say to him? My mind is suddenly paralyzed with apprehension. What are you going to talk about? What on earth do I have in common with him? His soft, warm voice startles me from my reverie. How long have you known Catherine Governor? Oh, an easy question, for starters.
Since our freshman year. She's a good friend.
He replies non-committally. What is he thinking? At the elevators, bing! He presses the call button, and the bell rings almost immediately. The door slides open, revealing a couple in a passionate embrace. Surprised and embarrassed, they jump apart, staring guiltily in every direction but ours. Rain and I step into the elevator. I'm struggling to maintain a straight face, so I gaze down at the floor, feeling my cheeks turn pink. When I peek up at Grey through my lashes, he has a hint of a smile on his lips, but it's very hard to tell. The young couple says nothing, and we travel down the first floor in an embarrassed silence. Pshh, that's the sound of silence. We don't even have bland pipe elevator music. No, they don't have that. The doors open. Bing! Much to my surprise, Grey takes my hand, grasping it with his long, cool fingers. I feel the current run through me, and my already rapid heartbeat accelerates. As he leads me out of the elevator, we can hear the suppressed giggles, a couple erupting behind us. Grey grins. What's it about elevators? He mutters. We cross the expansive, bustling lobby to the hotel front entrance, but Grey avoids the revolving door, and I wonder if it's because he doesn't want to let go of my hand. Outside, it's a mild May Sunday. The sun is shining. The traffic is light. Grey turns left and strolls to the corner where he waits for the crosswalk to change. He's still holding my hand. I'm in the street, and Christian Grey is holding my hand. Yes, that's correct. No one has ever held my hand. I feel giddy, and I tingle all over. I attempt to smother the ridiculous grin that threatens to split my face in two. Try to be cool, Anna. My subconscious implores me. The green man appears, and we're off again. We walk 4 blocks before we reach the Portland Coffee House, where Grey releases me to hold the door open so I can step inside. Why don't you choose a table while I go for the drinks? What would you like? He asks politely as ever.
Oh, I'll have English breakfast tea, bag out.
He raises his eyebrows. No coffee?
I'm not keen on coffee.
He smiles. Okay, bag out tea. Sugar? Oh, for a moment I'm stunned, thinking it's an endearment, but fortunately my subconscious kicks in with pursed lips. No, stupid. Don't you take sugar?
No thanks. I stare down.
I stare down at my knotted fingers. Anything to eat?
No thank you.
I shake my head, and he heads to the counter. I surreptitiously gaze at him from beneath my lashes as he stands in line waiting to be served. I could watch him all day. He's tall, broad-shouldered, and slim, and the way those pants hang off his hips. Oh my!
Oh my!
Once or twice he runs his long, graceful fingers through his dry but disorderly hair. I'd like to do that. The thought comes unbidden into my mind and my face flames. I bite my lip, ow, and stare down at my hands again, not liking where my wayward thoughts headed. Penny for your thoughts. Grey is back, startling me. I go crimson. I was just thinking about running my fingers through your hair and wondering if it would feel soft to touch. I shake my head. He's carrying a tray, which he sets down on the small, round, birch veneer table. He hands me a cup and saucer, a small teapot, and a side plate bearing a lone tea bag labelled Twining's English Breakfast, my favourite. He has a coffee that bears a wonderful leaf pattern imprinted in the milk. How do they do that? I wondered idly. He also bought himself a blueberry muffin. Putting the tray aside, he sits opposite me and crosses his long legs. He looks so comfortable, so at ease with his body. I envy him. Here's me, all gawky and uncoordinated, barely able to get from A to B without falling flat on my face. Your thoughts? He prompts me.
This is my favourite tea.
My voice is quiet and breathy. I simply can't believe I'm sitting opposite Christian Grey in a coffee shop in Portland. He frowns. He knows I'm hiding something. I pop the tea bag into the teapot and almost immediately fish it out again with my teaspoon. As I place the used tea bag on the side plate, he cocks his head, gazing quizzically at me.
I like my tea black and weak.
I mutter. Excuse me. As explanation. I see. Is he your boyfriend? Whoa, what?
Who?
The photographer, Jose Rodriguez. I laugh, nervous but curious. What gave him that impression?
No, Jose's a good friend of mine, that's all. Why did you think he was my boyfriend?
The way you smiled at him, and he at you. His gaze holds mine. He's so unnerving I want to look away, but I'm caught spellbound.
He's more like family.
I whisper.
He's more like family.
Excellent. Grey nods, seemingly satisfied with my response, and glances down at his blueberry muffin. His long fingers deftly peel back the paper, and I watch fascinated. Do you want some? He asks, and that amused, secret smile is back.
No thanks.
I frown and stare down at my hands again. And the boy I met yesterday at the store, he's not your boyfriend.
No, Paul's just a friend. I told you that yesterday.
Oh, and this is getting silly.
Why do you ask?
You seem nervous around him. Holy crap. That's personal. I'm just nervous around you, Grey.
I find you intimidating.
I flush scarlet, but mentally pat myself on the back for my candour and gaze at my hands again. I hear his sharp intake of breath. You should find me intimidating. He nods. What does that mean? You're very honest. Please don't look down. I like to see your face. Oh, I glance at him and he gives me an encouraging but wry smile. It gives me some sort of clue what you might be thinking. He breathes. You're so mysterious, Miss Steele. Mysterious? Me?
There's nothing mysterious about me.
I think you're self-contained, very self-contained, he murmurs. Am I? Wow. How am I managing that? This is bewildering. Me, self-contained, no way. Except when you blush, of course, which is often. I just wish I knew you were blushing about. He pops a small piece of muffin into his mouth, and starts to chew, slowly, not taking his eyes off me. And as if on cue, I blush. Crap.
Do you always make such personal observations?
I hadn't realised I was. Have I offended ye? He sounds surprised.
No.
I answer truthfully. Good.
But you're very high-handed.
He raises his eyebrows, and, if I'm not mistaken, flushes slightly too. I'm used to getting my own way, Anastasia, he murmurs. In all things.
I don't doubt it. But why haven't you asked me to call you by your first name?
I'm surprised by my audacity. Why has this conversation become so serious? This isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. I can't believe I'm feeling so antagonistic towards him. It's like he's trying to warn me off. The only people who use my given name are my family and a few close friends. That's the way I like it. Oh, he still hasn't said. Call me Christian. He's a control freak. There's no other explanation, and part of me is thinking maybe it would have been better if Kate had interviewed him. Two control freaks together. Plus, of course, she's almost blonde. Well, strawberry blonde, like all the women in this office. And she's beautiful, my subconscious reminds me. I don't like the idea of Christian and Kate. I take a sip of my tea, and Gray eats another small piece of his muffin. Are you okay, child? He asks. Oh, are you an only child? He asks. Whew! He keeps changing direction.
Yes.
Tell me about your parents. Why does he want to know this? It's so dull.
Well, my mum lives in Georgia with her new husband, Bob. My stepdad lives in Montesano.
Your father?
Oh, Dad died when I was a baby.
I'm sorry, he murmurs, and a fleeting troubled look crosses his face.
Don't. I didn't remember him.
And your mother remarried?
Yeah, you could say that.
He frowns at me. You're not giving much away, are you? He says dryly, rubbing his chin. That's the sound of my chin rubbing. Deep in thought.
Neither are you.
You've interviewed me once already, and I can recollect some quite probing questions. Then, he smirks at me. Holy shit. He's remembering the gay question. Once again I am mortified. In years to come I know I will need intensive therapy, not feel this embarrassed every time I recall that moment. I start babbling about my mother, anything to block that memory.
My mum is wonderful. She's an incurable romantic. She's currently on her fourth husband.
Christian raises his eyebrows in surprise.
I miss her.
I continue.
She has Bob now. I just hope he can keep an eye on her and pick up the pieces when her harebrained schemes don't go as planned.
I smile fondly. I haven't seen my mom in so long. Christian is watching me intently, taking occasional sips of his coffee. I really shouldn't look at his mouth. It's unsettling. Do you get along with your stepfather?
Of course. I grew up with him. He's the only father I know.
And what's he like?
Ray? Well, he's... taciturn.
That's it? Gray asks, surprised. I shrug. What does this man expect? My life story? Taciturn like his stepdaughter, Gray prompts. I refrain from rolling my eyes at him.
He likes soccer, European soccer especially, and bowling, and fly fishing, and making furniture. He's an ex-carpenter. Oh, he's a carpenter, ex-army.
I sigh. You lived with him?
Yeah. My mum met husband number 3 when I was 15, so I just stayed with Ray.
He frowns as if he doesn't understand. You didn't want to live with your mum? He asks. This is really none of his business.
Husband number 3 lived in Texas. My home was in Montesano, and my mum was newly married.
I stop. My mum never talks about husband number 3. Where is Gray going with this? This is none of his business. Two can play at that game.
Tell me about your parents.
He shrugs. My dad's a lawyer. My mum's a paediatrician. They live in Seattle. Oh, he's had an affluent upbringing, and I wonder about a successful couple who adopts 3 children, and one of them turns into a beautiful man who takes on the business world and conquers it single-handed. What drove him to be this way? His folks must be proud.
What do your siblings do?
Elliot's in construction, and my little sister's in Paris studying cookery under some renowned French chef. His eyes cloud with the irritation. He doesn't want to talk about his family or himself.
I hear Paris is lovely.
I murmur. Why doesn't he want to talk about his family? Is it because he's adopted? It's beautiful, haven't you been? He asks, his irritation forgotten.
I've never left the mainland USA.
So now we're back to banalities. What is he hiding? What would you like to go?
To Paris!
I squeak. Squeak! This has thrown me. Who wouldn't want to go to Paris?
Of course.
I concede.
But it's England that I'd really like to visit. And see you, Imke.
And yes, me too. He cocks his head to one side, running his index finger across his lower lip. Oh my. Because I rapidly concentrate Steele.
I blink. What? Read that right.
Oh, yeah. I blink rapidly. Concentrate, Steele. Concentrate, Burroughs.
It's the home of Shakespeare, Austen, the Bronte sisters, Thomas Hardy. I'd like to see the places that inspired those people to write such wonderful books.
All this talk of literary greats reminds me that I should be studying. I glance at my watch.
I'd better go. I have to study.
For your exams?
Yeah, they start Tuesday.
Where's Miss Kavanagh's car?
In the hotel parking lot.
I'll walk you back.
Thank you for the tea, Mr. Gray.
He smiles his odd, I've got a whopping big secret smile.
Whopping big something else.
Ma. You're welcome, Anastasia. It's my pleasure. Come. He commands and holds his hand out to me. I take it, bemused, and follow him out of the coffee shop. We stroll back to the hotel, and I'd like to say it was a companionable silence. He at least looks his usual calm, collected self. As for me, I'm desperately trying to gauge how our coffee morning has gone. I feel like I've been interviewed for a job, but I'm not sure what for. Do you always wear jeans? He asks out of the blue.
Mostly.
He nods. We're back at the intersection. Across the road from the hotel. My mind is reeling. What an odd question. And I'm aware that one time together is limited. This is it. This was it. And I've completely blown it. I know, perhaps, he has someone.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I blurt out, holy crap. I just said that out loud. His lips quirk up in a half smile and he peers down at me. No, Anastasia, I don't do the girlfriend thing, he says softly. Oh, sorry. No, Anastasia, I don't do the girlfriend thing, he says softly. Oh, what does that mean? He's not gay. Or maybe he is. He must have lied to me in his interview. And for a moment I think he's going to follow up with some explanation, some clue to his cryptic statement. But he doesn't. I have to go. I have to try to reassemble my thoughts. I have to get away from him. I walk forward and trip, stumbling headlong into the road. Shit, Anna! Gray cries. He tugs the hand that's holding so hard that I fall back against him, just as a cyclist bring, bring, whips past, narrowly missing me, heading the wrong way up this one-way street. Sounds like Rachel with her dyslexic sign reading. It all happened so fast. 1 minute I'm falling, the next I'm in his arms, and he's holding me tightly against his chest. I inhale his clean, wholesome scent. He smells freshly laundered linen. He smells of freshly laundered linen and some expensive body wash. It's intoxicating. I inhale deeply. Are you okay? Are you okay? He whispers. He has one arm around me, clasping me to him, while the fingers of his other hand softly trace my face, gently probing, examining me. His thumb brushes my lower lip, and his breath hitches, whatever that is. He's staring into my eyes, and I hold his. Anxious, burning gaze for a moment, or maybe it's forever. But eventually my attention is drawn to his beautiful mouth, and for the first time in 21 years, I want to be kissed. I want to feel his mouth on mine. And I bet that's not all that she wants to feel.
And now to continue on to chapter 4.
Thank you.
For
Thank
listening.
you. We love you long time.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, long time. That concludes story reading for now.